From the farmers and ranchers of Farm Bureau, this is Farm Weekend. The American Farm Bureau Federation is encouraging U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer to take a closer look at trade with China. Chad Smith has the story.
The trade relationship between the U.S. and China remains critically important for American agriculture. Dave Solomonson, Senior Director of Government Affairs for the American Farm Bureau Federation, said there has been some progress between the two nations recently.
President Trump and President Xi of China came to a deal back on October 31st. For 1 year, going to delay any new tariffs. They reduced some tariffs by about 10%, several purchase commitments by China for U.S. ag products, and those port fees, which had gone into effect fairly recently, those were delayed a year.
Farm Bureau recently submitted comments to the U.S. Trade Representative's office encouraging further discussions regarding previous agreements with China.
Which means they look into the issue, they gather information, and at the end of the day, they could decide we can use this when we're having continuing negotiations. And we pointed out that China did not fulfill that phase one agreement that was signed in 2020. They didn't remove all of the non-tariff trade barriers. We let them know that those were things that needed to continue to be worked on.
Chad Smith, Washington.
Trump administration announces $12 billion farmer bridge payments for American farmers impacted by unfair market disruptions. More when Farm Weekend returns.
The farmers and ranchers of Kansas Farm Bureau work daily to ensure they are raising the healthiest crops and animals with care to provide a safe and nutritious meal from their family to you and your family. Learn more about these Kansas farmers and ranchers and get great recipes featuring the products they raise by visiting our website, www.kansaslivingmagazine.com.
President Donald Trump, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, key members of Congress, and farmers from Arkansas, Iowa, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Texas announced that the U.S. Department of Agriculture will provide $12 billion in one-time bridge payments to American farmers in response to temporary trade disruptions and rising production costs. Of the $12 billion, up to $11 billion will fund the Farmer Bridge Assistant Program, which offers broad relief to U.S. row crop producers, including those growing barley, chickpeas, corn, cotton, lentils, oats, peanuts, peas, rice, sorghum, soybeans, wheat, canola, cranberry, flax, mustard, rapeseed, safflower, sesame, and sunflower. The FBA program is designed to address market disruptions, elevated input costs, persistent inflation, and losses caused by foreign competitors engaging in unfair trade practices that hinder U.S. exports. Qualified farmers can expect payments by February 28th. Eligible producers must ensure that their 2025 acreage reports are accurate and submitted by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on December 19th, 2025. Next, Insight with Kim Baldwin.
Hey, farmers and ranchers, just as you do ride-alongs to inspect your fields and cattle, make sure you do the same for your mental well-being. Take time to check in with yourself and your neighbors. And if you find yourself in a crisis, remember, there's immediate help available at 988. Mental health is just as vital as the health of your farm. Let's prioritize it together. This message brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau and Kansas Farmers Union.
Now, Insight with Kim Baldwin.
There have been clear signs we have transitioned into another season on the farm. The temperatures have dropped, the geese are flying, and the kids are counting down the days until their winter break begins. On our farm, work in the office and shop have commenced. Visits from seed dealers have begun, and the winter meetings covering policy and education within agriculture are kicking off. It also means that many of our nights or Saturdays are spent driving to and sitting in the rural school gyms scattered throughout our area to watch basketball games. The winter season of both meetings and games on the hardwood are a welcome change for both the introverts and extroverts in our family. In both instances, we are reconnecting with others in our communities. Yes, this season provides a much-needed opportunity to reconnect with others. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to learn about. There's a lot of recommendations or decisions to make during this season. Whether it's in a meeting room full of cushioned chairs, discussion and gavel taps, or a historic small-town gym full of banners and sneaker squeaks and cheering fans, I'm thankful for the opportunity to reconnect with others during this season.
Join us next week for another edition of Farm Weekend from Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture.